So in this lesson, we're looking at poison gas. So we're going to study this new weapon. We're going to understand why it failed to defeat the trench system. And by doing that, hopefully, we're developing our historical analysis skills. Lots of key words here. Chlorine, phosgene and mustard are the types of gas. Choke, suffocation, same thing, you can't breathe. Visible, invisible, I hope you know what that means. Drift, as he moves with the wind. Gas mask, urine, I'm hoping you know what that means. And rag. Right, so let's crack on, shall we? What is the basic problem with attacking a trench? Here's a German soldier. Here's your British soldier in a trench with his rifle and barbed wire. What's the problem? The problem is, as you run towards the enemy, he shoots you. And you can't shoot at him. That's the basic problem. Yeah? Now, how is gas meant to solve this problem? Yeah? The idea is, if you're the Germans, you release the gas drifts to the British trench, and then takes out the British soldier. Once that's happened, gas goes away, and you can cross no man's land without being shot. That's the problem, and this gas mask is a solution. Yeah? Explain all that, please. And the Germans came up with a few sorts of gases. The first two were chlorine and phosgene. First off, chlorine gas. It killed you by asphyxiation. You breathed it in and you choked to death. The problem for the Germans with chlorine gas is it was visible. You could see and therefore you could dodge it. So about a year later, they came up with their next sort of gas, phosgene. Phosgene gas killed you in exactly the same way as chlorine gas, but, what's the but, do you think? The but is, of course, it was invisible. Question 4. How did you beat, that means, these gases? What did the British do about it? So both of these gases could be stopped by somehow blocking your nose and mouth and stopping the gas getting in. And the first thing they used, in the first few months after they had gas, soldiers would quickly get out a handkerchief, wee on it, yeah, that's what I said, they would wee on it, and they would hold the wee-stained rag to their face, and that blocked most of the chlorine and phosgene. But of course, it wasn't a good solution, so within a year, they'd invented the gas mask. So chlorine and phosgene have been beaten, so the Germans came up with their last and worst gas, mustard gas. In these photographs here, you can see the effects of people who've been mustard gassed. It was like an acid in the air. It literally burnt. If you breathed it in, it burnt your lungs. If it got to your skin or your eyes, it burned them. If it got to your eyes, it could blind you. So the last and worst poison gas Germans invented was mustard gas. It was caused because it was visible and it was a sort of dirty yellow mustardy colour. And it burnt, whenever it touched you, it was like acid in the air, it burnt you. Right, last bit. Why was poison gas not really a very effective weapon? Yeah. So let's say you're the German army. You release the gas from the canister when the wind is blowing this direction, and the wind blows it towards the trench. Fantastic. What can go wrong? Well, quite clearly, what happens if the wind moves? If the wind moves, you end up gassing yourself. So the problem with poison gas is that once you've released it, you can't really control it. Later in the war, the Germans started putting it inside exploding shells. That was a bit better, but it was never really a war-winning weapon.